Hello, Starfish. Just got off a wonderful group coaching call with my clients where we discuss all matters of relationship issues and how to get through them and onto healthy relationships. With that, one of the things that came up in the conversation today is a recurring theme with a lot of the parents that I deal with who have discipline issues with their kids and so on. And this is a problem that is pretty pervasive in parenting. It's one of the primary ways that we as parents kind of miss the boat. And in some cases, it's because it's how we were raised. In other cases, it's because we're impatient. And that is when we tell our kids, because I said so, because I'm the parent, just do what you're told. And yeah, sometimes we're in a hurry and we need to do that on occasion. So what I'm talking about is doing this as a matter of course. A parent that doesn't want to explain to their kids, that just doesn't want to take the time, they just want to be obeyed. This is where this becomes a huge problem, especially for kids with ADHD who have difficulty with processing and decision making to begin with. When you say, do it because I said so, do it because your teacher asked you to, you're encouraging them to have blind obedience to authority, and that includes you. When you teach them to just follow along with a person simply because they're in a position of authority, you're teaching them to ignore and not trust their own judgment, but to defer to the judgment of somebody in authority. And you and I both know that even people in authority can have bad ideas and lousy advice. And sometimes when you say, do it because I said so, or listen to the person who's in charge, you tend to have in your mind specific people. Listen to me, listen to your teacher, so on. Our kids tend to generalize that to anybody in authority. And that includes the leader of the riffraff group that's always getting in trouble, the one group that accepts your child when other groups do not. So suddenly you have a child that is doing the stuff you told them, don't do this or you're going to be grounded, don't smoke, don't skip class, whatever you give them. Suddenly your child's in this group and they're doing all the stuff you told them not to. Why? Because you taught them to simply defer to authority. And the person that's in charge in that group is pulling all the strings. So let's back up now. How do you prevent this from happening? You take the time to explain to your child your reasoning behind the request you're making. You tell them why. Why are you asking this of them? What values do you have? Why is it important for them to do one thing versus another? Why is kindness important to you instead of telling that jerk off? You see the difference? There are some people that curse in traffic. There are some people that say, well, I bless this person. I hope they get to where they're going safely, and so on. Very different responses. But you can explain to your child why that's the response you went with. What's your logic? What's your decision-making process? Help your child learn to make decisions for themselves with their own values, with their own beliefs, their own priorities. They don't learn that when they're constantly being encouraged to simply defer to somebody else's will. So I want to encourage you to reflect upon this and see where this might show up in your interactions with your child, where you may have subconsciously or unwillingly encouraged this in the classroom as well. Because if your child doesn't learn how to stand up for themselves and stand in their own values, they're going to fall into this pattern of people pleasing, where they're going to always be led by other people, some of whom do not have their best interests in mind. So I'll leave you with that. Hopefully this has been helpful. If so, leave some comments. Let's continue this conversation. And if there are other people that can benefit from this, let them know where to find it. Until we talk next, this has been Brian. Thanks for being you.